Everybody, say good morning, Storm slash cow eating grass. Is your tummy not feeling good, or you just like eating grass? Hey, come say good morning. Little Missy, can you say good morning, to everybody? Stormy, why are you eating grass, girl? Why are you eating so much grass? Y'all, if you're new to the channel, this is Storm and Rain. Uh, this is the storm part of the storm and rain. The rain is actually inside the. Girl, you still eating grass? That's even weird kind of grass. Storm, come here. Let's not eat the grass. Come on. Let's go. Come on. Come on. Let's go somewhere else. Plus, there's a lot of mosquitoes right here. The rain part of the show is actually in the house. He just had his run and now he's relaxing for a minute. But the thing about him is that he has FOMO so bad. If you have a Cane Corso, you know what I'm talking about. A lot of these Cane Corsos don't want to miss a beat. And so as soon as we start doing some stuff out here, he's going to come peeling back outside. And so we'll get a chance to meet the Cane Corso. I'd like to do a countdown, but I feel like if I count down, he's not going to show up. uh, but anyway, we'll look at the Rottweiler. She's doing better. So if you guys know that she's got some issues with her ACL, and we've been working with that. And the only way we've been treating her torn ACL is by doing rest on it. And so I knew it. As soon as I bent down, he was like, "All right, somebody's getting love." There's the Cane Corso right there coming out. Look at that guy in the sun. Yeah, there he is. What's going on, big boy? Welcome back. Welcome back. Hey, you sniffing that bird poop? And little Miss is out with us today too. They're mainly out because they know that I have some treats in my hand. So this is the treats that we bought last week. We got a lot of super chats, and so they got new toys and new treats, and so they know that it's time to get some treats. But as you know, we always work for our treats. We never just hand out treats just for make the dogs fat. For instance, we just do it for training purposes. And you know, and a lot of people just say, you know, why do all these tricks and stuff? And I don't really think it's about the tricks. It's more about the connection that you have with your dog, and it's about the message that you're giving them. I think a lot of people kind of misinterpret the purpose of training or doing these tricks. You know, I'm calling them tricks, but you know, it's really about you giving a command to your dog listening to that command, understanding that command, following it through, you rewarding that behavior, and then they learn from that interaction. You know what I mean? So it's more than just look at what my dog can do. You know, it's more about what happens as a result of you spending time with that dog like that, and that dog getting used to hearing you give commands and it follows through in those commands, and that translate into other areas too. I mean, that's the goal here, right? You want to have dogs, you know, especially these big dogs where, you know, they have the capacity to do a lot of harm. What's up, local noob? They have the capacity to do a lot of harm. And if you don't have if they don't have any respect for you, you can't stop them. He said hi. They can do a lot of damage. And so you have to be very, very diligent about building that relationship with these big dogs like this. One's enough, two is a lot, and two or more is a lot. Thank you, local noob, for subscribing. Appreciate that. So you know, we come out here a lot, and we foster that relationship, and we use good old treats to foster that relationship. And you know, I enjoy it. It's fun for them. It's mentally stimulating for them because again, these guys they spend a lot of their time doing absolutely nothing. What's up, Dogtail? You know, they do absolutely nothing all day long. So for you to spend a little time to do a couple commands and they follow through, look at him, he's all laid out. I love it when he's like this. You know, I put a lot of effort into making sure that he's fully exercised and exhausted. It just makes for, hey, Kate, what's going on? So cute. Thanks, dog. Tail, unknown. Oh my God, cut dogs. Oh my God, cut dogs and high? Okay. What does it mean by naive? Mojang is talking about naivety. Yeah, this is about dogs. Oh, okay. You meant cute. Thank you. Thank you. Unknown. Um, this I spend a lot of time to make sure that this, particularly this guy, because he's the youngster. I mean, she's a little more seasoned, so she's been around a while. Spider-Man's going political on us. um, well, the new guy, he wants to do a lot. He wants to play. He wants to bug everybody. He wants to play with the other dogs, and she's older. And where's my oldest one? Sorry, we just lost a little one. She's around here somewhere. We'll get to her in a minute. I don't know where she went to. Anyway, the older dogs are set in their ways. They don't want to play all the time. So you got to give him an outlet for the energy. If you don't give him an outlet for the energy, he finds his own outlet. And he'll dig holes in the yard. Like I've had so many holes that I had to patch and repair because he was bored. He was just absolutely bored out of his mind. Dogtail, any squish their face. Mr. Panak says, "Nice to meet you. Good, very good morning to you, Mr. Panan. How do you say Pankenj? I'm sorry, I'm very bad with pronouncing different names there. Bandari, I think that's how you say your last name. How about I call you Mr. Bandari? Very good morning to you as well, Jimmy. They should be working instead of collecting benefits. Dog EBT cards, get jobs. You two, absolutely. You know what? Jimmy is kind of being very funny, but that's exactly the point. That's exactly correct. They have to work. These guys are working dogs. They don't need EBT cards and free handouts. They get enough of that love stuff, but you got to make them work for it. It brings meaning to their lives because, like I said, most of their life is pretty boring. They sit around, they lay, they sleep, they bark here and there. But if you don't create some activity for them, it's like little kids. When kids are bored, they find whatever they can get into, and a lot of times, more often than not, they'll get into things that you're not wanting them to get into. So you got to create things for them. How many meat do you them? I'm not sure, gambling, what you're meaning. How old are they, Kate? So he is 2 and she is going to be 5 coming up soon, this November. Beto, or Barrow, how you say your name? Is this United States, Barrow or Beto? This is definitely the United States. This is Texas. Joe Biden says, can you say Worcestershire? Worcestershire? That's how I say it. 12th man, hey, what's going on? You're back. Good to see you. Extina, Brian Utter just say with sauce. So Dogtail's having breakfast. Good job. Vessel says hi, good morning. Gamlin says feed. So I hope I answered your question, Kate. You were asking how old the dogs were. And then, of course, the little one is actually 13. There she is. She's 13 years old. She's my old dog. She's the alpha, too, by the way. Yeah, man, I'm so glad you came back, 12th man. It's awesome to see old friends come back and see the dogs. They're doing well. Storm is still with her ACL tear, so she's kind of keeping it chill right now. But everybody's good. Thank you, Kendama says, beautiful dogs. Thank you so much. Pathway Readiness USA. Good morning, beautiful souls. Life is a gift. Embrace today with gratitude. Absolutely. Wishing you peace, joy, and endless blessings. Absolutely. 100% agree with that comment, Pathway. Cyril, nice dogs. What's going on, Cyril? Joe Lewis says she is kicking small people. Not sure what you mean, Xtina. Little alpha dogs are so funny to me. Yeah, they are, because they act like they're bigger than the big dogs, right? They think that they own the place, and they try to maintain that dominance. And it's interesting because for dogs, dominance is psychological. It's not necessarily always physical. I think people get up in arms whenever there is a physical display of dominance, but most of it is psychological. And little dogs like that, they can control big dogs psychologically. They just but if you watch them, the way they behave and the way they do nonverbal communication, there's always a I go first, don't step on me. There's a lot of seemingly aggression, but it's just them demanding to be respected. You know what I mean? Exactly. Dogs for months and some. Yeah. Nice dogs, man. Thank you, Frank. Appreciate you. Frank and the Five Indians. Donovan Dillard. Let's get physical and physical. Let's get physical. Physical. Look, I was born in the 80s, okay? So I know what you're talking about. Damn, it's so true. Connie Corso. Yes, it is definitely a Connie Corso. Joe, this is a Connie Corso. Sanoob says, hi, I'm from India. What's going on, India? India's in the house. Good morning. She is the dominant one. She is. It's 8 p.m. in India right now. Yes, 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 yes. That's what's in over here in America. I'm in Texas, Central Standard Time. It's 9:22 in the morning for us. Kate Kudzi says, cute dog. Greetings from the gays. Okay, greeting from the gays. So that was from Hufflepuff with lots of love. Greetings from the gays. Good morning, the gays. How are y'all? Could be a last name, or someone could be funny. I don't know. Either way, good morning to you. I heard you at the dogs last night. What? I don't know what you mean, Xtina. But anyways, so the we were talking. I'm anti-Semitic. Okay, Laura, 99. Don't be anti-Semitic. Don't do all that. We're trying to stay away from politics. That's one thing I try my best not to do is go too political. I mean, my dogs don't care about politics. Do you care about politics? Let's ask him. Hey, do you care about politics? Nah, he looked away. He doesn't care. Do you care about politics? No. Nah, they don't really care about it. You're just being silly. That's okay. I like being silly too. Joe says the Rottweiler is scared of the Cane Corso. Actually, no, not really. The Rottweiler is not scared. I mean, here, I'll say this though. I will say this, Joe. I've had some experience where the Cane Corso, he has more power than he like lets on to. So every now and then, that big Cane Corso voice comes out of him, and it will actually rattle my Rottweiler. But she, in general, though, she's not afraid of him. And she actually tries her best to maintain her dominance over him. Laura 99, you are just being funny, girl. Justin May says, hi. What's going on, Justin? Oki, or is it Okai or okay? You're different, kind of intrigued. Okay, well, I'm glad you're intrigued. But tell me how to pronounce your name. Is it Okai or okay? Snowy says, hi. What's going on, Snowy? Florence says, hi. What's going on, Florence? Okai. Sounds like Okai, right? Wow, where are you from, Okai? Heard she got the dog's pets and rubbed the door over what? I feel like, Xtina, you're like typing out of a book or something right now. Not even engaging with the conversation. Justin May, the rapper. It's Justin May, the rapper, not Justin. Okay, so you want the full name, Justin. Ray, Justin May, the rapper. O'Key. Okay, I'm sorry. O'Key. Gotcha. Yeah, no problem, Joe. Looks like you have pit bulls, Joe. I love big dogs, and I'm so happy these guys look content and adorable. Yes. So Snowy, we had to exercise this guy. That's why he's kind of panting and just chilling out right now. He had a lot of energy. We had to give him some exercise. Love and full support from Manipuri Matai. Mitia. Oh man, I'm not sure how to pronounce where you're from, man. And your name is Nung Hui. Wow, I'm challenged today, guys. Challenged with everyone's name, but I'm gonna get there. I promise. Just as long as you help me pronounce it, like Oki and all those other names, I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Thank y'all for hanging out with us too. 1964 Flyers, Canada here. I have a Malamute, and a Lab Shepherd. Ooh, Canada in the house. Hey, Canada. Hello. We love you. Okay. No matter what you think about us Americans, we do love y'all. Okay. Don't get it twisted. 1964. I'm not getting political. Don't get me wrong. I'm not doing that. I just want to shout that out. Okay. I'm an American and I love you guys. Alpha or Omerta 22706. Oh, I'm sorry, Alpha. Snowy sub. Thank you, Snowy. I appreciate that. Geez, that's King Corso. Yeah, so some people say Kane or Kane. I go with the Kane pronunciation, Kane Corso. So Nangchot Hoi is from Northeast India. North Indian. No problem. Okay, I appreciate you from hanging out. Ari says hi. What's going on, Ari? Absolutely gorgeous dogs. From sharing your dogs, can you say hi, Freya? I'm from the UK. Okay, hi, Freya. What's going on? Only one American I don't care for. Look. I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna get that. Go down that path. But just know that we love you, Canada. Gerald Sumner said hi. What's going on? Xtina, you're just saying kind of some interesting stuff. Don't say his name or tariffs will appear. Okay. Capricia, what's going on? Good morning. Yes, they are babies. I got a German Shepherd Malinois. Ah, G's got it going on. Northeast India is different from India, people. Yeah, that's what I understand. People from North India are very different from the southern part. It's just like anywhere you go. I mean, you listen to Americans from all over. Everybody has different accents and different styles, and people are different no matter where you go, even in the same country. Get these beautiful faces. Let's look at this Rottweiler. I'm gonna make the Connie Corso jealous. I'm gonna try to see if it works. Bad dogs. AJ10. They're not bad dogs. She's getting some love. Yes, you are. Do you listen to Ariana Grande? Casey, I caught what you just did there. Oki says, I think I'll sub. Well, thank you so much, Oki. Appreciate you. Yeah, I knew we were gonna get that Connie Corso over here. Yeah, we got him jealous. So today, guys, we're still gonna. I know we kind of got a little sidestepped a little bit. But we're actually gonna be doing some treat work in a minute. And I say work because we are literally gonna try to do a little bit of training. We did some last week on live, and it was okay, because I hadn't done it in a while, and I was happy to see that they kept some of their skills. And don't forget, these dogs, you can't train them once and forget. You have to continue to keep up with their training because they will definitely lose those skills after a while. So you have to kind of keep reminding them. It's an everyday thing with these dogs. You can never, ever, ever take a day off. There's no day offs with these dogs. You're always training. You're always loving them. You're always telling them what you want and what you don't want. You know what I mean? So it's a active daily thing. Shalisa says, my name is Lisa. What's going on, Lisa? Can you say hi? It's my birthday. Lisa's birthday today. Lisa McDowell. That reminds me of a Eddie Murphy movie. Do you remember? Do you know what I'm talking about? Lisa McDowell. If you have not seen Coming to America with Eddie Murphy, it's an old, I want to say, 80s movie. It's a Jamaican. Oh my God, it's an African prince who comes to America, to Queens, New York, to find his love of his life, Lisa, right? And her father is Mr. McDowell, who owns a alternate version of McDonald's. I love that. That is my favorite movie. Xtina is still going at it. I love Coming to Me too. I'm telling you, Lisa, that's my favorite movie of all time. I mean, just the acting, the humor, even the way he does the costumes. Love it, absolutely love it. You're my queen to be, Spirit. She's your queen to be. Xtina, I have no idea what you're talking about. Oh man, you guys are funny. My coworker in the car smoking that no. As long as they're not getting in trouble with the job, that's the main thing. You gotta have that income, right? So speaking of income, if you don't have your money right, these dogs are very expensive. And I'm not talking about the upfront cost. If you have the hookup, with some people that are, first of all, make sure you have some good breeders. But if you have the hookup, it's still going to cost you good money. If your dog is too cheap, you need to be very careful because there's a lot of people that are doing some weird stuff out here trying to make a buck. So you're going to spend money on these dogs. But the monthly cost for these dogs can be very, very pricey. I mean, you can always do things, you know, you can make your own toys. You can take some water bottles and put cloth on them. And, you know, there's ways to save money, and I'm not opposed to that. But just be careful that you don't, if you're not financially ready for taking care of a dog like this, these big dogs, because they eat a lot. Oh my gosh. Even if you go raw, you will still spend some money. The dogs look well taken care of. Thank you so much, Buck Thug. Buck Thug. Is it a Rottweiler? Yes, it is. Okay, I would love to have another cockapoo. You know, my daughter wants a bird. I think that would be kind of cool. I wouldn't mind having an African gray. Ruth Connor, beautiful Roddy. Thank you so much. He's a good boy. He is, Titus. Yeah, they can be very, very expensive, and not to mention the vet bills too. You always need to take care of your dogs, and they definitely need to be. They have to have their vaccines. They have to have you know, little things happen here and there. You can't be 100% like control everything they do. I mean, these are animals. They're gonna run too hard. They're gonna crash into something. They're gonna get a bump, or you know, they're gonna scratch themselves. Things are gonna happen with these things. You know, these dogs. So just realize there's going to be some vet expenses. You know, they're going to have bumps on their legs, or something's going to come up, and you're going to need to get them examined. So the expense of these dogs can be very pricey. So be prepared. Be prepared. Flying Fish, good morning. Lisa says, I have a pit bull. That's what's up, Lisa. Beggs and Aiken. Here in, is that Washington? We have a law that you can salvage roadkill. Interesting. You mean like in terms of feeding your dogs, like roadkill? Is that what you mean? Poodle and Cocker Spaniel mix. That's what's up, OK. Ropo says, wow, just wow. Ropo, what do you mean? Are you talking about my dogs? Delight says, hi. What's going on, Delight? Mary's 2111 says, I'm from India. What's going on, Mary's? We were just talking with someone from North India. What part of India are you from? We're Americans, by the way. This Rottweiler says, I'm an American Rottweiler. Ropro says, yep, just a dog. Okay, cool. That's what's up. Inverse says, if a dog passes away, is it wrong to eat? Oh, good gracious, Inverse. Inverse, that is an interesting concept. You know, you say that, but I've heard of people, you know, when people have placentas from their birth, they will eat the placenta. And I've always thought that was interesting behavior. So it sounds awkward, but it's not far-fetched for people to do stuff like that. You know what I mean? I would never do that. I would never advertise. I would never promote anyone else doing that to their dog. But there are some very, very strange customs and beliefs out here that you just wouldn't believe. Chennai, South India. Okay, so we got South India in the house and North India. That is what's cool. The light. I like cats more than dogs because dogs are smelly. Yeah, I will say my Cane Corso, he has historically been the most smelly of the house. But my Rottweiler, though, man, I'm telling you, I don't know, her natural odor is not bad. I mean, and it's actually kind of pleasant. I don't wash her for a week or so, and she does not stink at all. It's actually kind of an interesting smell. Not bad, just very, very interesting. But this guy here, his slobber, woof, man. And it's been better. And so I've had this discussion before with a couple people. Paul, he's one of the moderators here. He pops in every now and then. But, you know, he and I kind of talked it over, and he was like, man, you might want to check out that diet because sometimes dogs don't do well with a certain you know, meat, like if it's chicken versus not chicken. And I think he was right, man. If your dog has an odor to them and they're eating like something in their kibble, or you're feeding them something, you might want to change it up or at least investigate further, because it could be they're allergic to either chicken or beef or fish or something, and something in their diet could be causing them to smell a certain way. Ropro says, I love Cane Corso. Me too. Raider Joe says, I only like hairless cats, non-allergic. I'm with you on that. I actually do have an allergy, a real allergy to cat dander. And that's one of the reasons I kind of stayed away from having cats. And my family doesn't like that. My mainly my daughter. My daughter really likes cats, and I'm like, sweetie, I just don't want to. I just don't want to have a reaction to the cat. But I love cats otherwise. Easy mode 666. Me and my cousin touched. Oh, come on, easy. You like Oscar Mayer? Is that what you have? You have Oscar Mayer. You're trying to cook some weenies out there on the grill. Big Toe said same. Yeah, with the cat thing. Iris, what's going on, Iris? Easy mode is going really weird on us this morning. Manipur Hai Lakapa Lakpa says hi. What's going on? Oh man. So Mary, I don't really know where Chennai is. Is that how you say it? Chennai? I've never really been to India. I've have a lot of friends from India, and some from North and from South India. And I do know that there's a little bit of interesting thought between North and versus South India. And but that's to the extent that I know 'em. Some of my good friends from school, man, we've really had good friendships, and I really enjoy having friends from India, like close friends too, like very good friends. So although I've never been, I have a very strong appreciation for India, and I'm a Texan, guys. I'm a Texan, and I have a strong positive emotion towards India. So, and I'm not Indian, of course. I'm not at all. Ira says, mine doc Dalminter name check. Ooh, how do you say that, Iris? I'm mine doc Dalminter. What is that? Help me out with that, Iris. I'm struggling. Big Toe says, can I tickle your pick or nickel? Big Toe, what is with you guys and these weird things this morning? I usually don't have you easy mode. Y'all are doing all kinds of stuff this morning. The Filipino says, I used to have a cat allergy, but later grew out of it. That's interesting because you theoretically, if you expose yourself to what we call an allergen, right? So an allergen is what you are allergic to. If you expose yourself to it, you can what they call modulate your immune system, where you can probably desensitize yourself to it. So that is an argument for like, my daughter. If you want to help her get a cat, to say, Dad, you just keep on exposing yourself to that cat. Eventually, you'll feel better. So you're the leader of the pack. Yes, sir, I am. Lyle, I am definitely the leader of the pack. That's a very important thing too, because if you don't take that leadership spot, guess who will? These dogs. And you don't want your dogs being the leader of the house, okay? You need to be the leader of the house. If you don't, they won't take ownership of everything. And a lot of things about these big dogs really boils down to one thing. If I had to boil it down to one concept, I would say this: boundaries. Setting boundaries with your dog. If you can set boundaries with your dog, there's a lot of things that they learn from that, and it would also teach you how to be the alpha and the leader of the house, of the pack. You got to have that. You got to have that position. You got to have that position. You don't have it, they will take it, and then you will be subservient to your dog's will. Meaning that if they want to sit where you're sitting, they'll tell you to get out of the way. If you're not feeding them when they want to be fed, they will bite you and tell you to feed them. If you try to touch their food, they will bite you and say, this is my food, because you've never told them that you were the leader. You've told them that they could do whatever they want. So you definitely do not want to do that. You want to keep the leadership spot in the house. And I'll be honest with you, Lyle. Not just me. My wife is a leader of the pack. My daughter is a leader of the pack. Every member of my household is a leader of the pack from their point of view. You know what I mean? Because if I'm not around, they still need to respect my wife. They still need to respect my daughter. And my daughter's a teenager, of course, and she's, the smallest of the group. But they have to respect her. Mary says, I know a little bit about boxer dogs. Really? So do you have a boxer, Mary? Michael Wilbur says, easy to eat the cat. Michael Wilbur says, my Chihuahua is the leader of the house, even over the pit bull. That's what we were talking about earlier, Michael. We were talking about how the little dogs will take the leadership alpha position amongst the dogs, and they do a fantastic job doing it as well. And what you'll notice is that they demand it. And it's all psychological, right? Because to them, in their minds, they don't see size. They don't see physical size. They're not saying, oh my gosh, I better not say anything to this Connie Corso or this Rottweiler. That little dog is like, I don't care how big you are. You will not step on me and you will not jump in front of me and you do not have my food. And they will fiercely guard that stuff. You know, they set boundaries. You know, so what I was saying earlier, they say, look, you can't walk in front of me. That's a boundary that you cross. And if you cross that boundary, you'll get some feedback from me. So dogs instinctively know how to take leadership position. The problem is when the humans don't figure that out. When humans don't speak that dog language, they leave themselves open for a very, very terrible situation. Ruby says, "Hi, what's going on, Ruby Orange?" Ken says, there is no boxer. Nope, I don't have a boxer, but she was just saying that she has information about boxers, meaning that she has an experience with boxers. Connie Corso's back. What up, big boy? What up, big boy? So I would say of the two, the Connie Corso is a little bit stronger willpower than the Rottweiler in my pack. So my boundaries with him are very, very strict. You know, even with him walking up to me like that, you could say he's not really respecting my personal space. And so what you have to do is you have to demand that. You have to, like, let's say he comes too close. What you can do is, for my dog, I just put my hand in his face. Or if he's jumping at you, you know, because this guy's tall. I mean, he's super, super linky. So when he jumps, he can topple an adult over easily. So I set boundaries where he's not allowed to jump. You know what I mean? Very, very beautiful dog, but he's not allowed to jump. No matter how excited you are to see me, you will not jump on top of me. So I'll put my hand in his face just like this, and it keeps him from doing that. So set those boundaries. Set those boundaries. All dogs need boundaries, even kids. Absolutely, Michael. That's one of the things that you can always draw analogy between is raising children and raising dogs. There's a lot of commonalities between the two. Blake, it says Connie Corso, yes. A Black Cat. Is that how you say your name? Black Cat? Black Cat? I'm trying. So Ruby, in terms of public, she's limping. You see her limping there? That's what I was talking about in terms of her ACL being torn. In terms of being out and about, he's okay for the most part. He's not well socialized. He's partially socialized. So if I take him to Lowe's or Home Depot, which is our hardware store here in America, if you're not used to those places, he does fine. You know, he does really well. I supervise him quite a bit whenever he's when we're out and about, because Connie Corsos can flip on you, like and the Rottweilers can do it too. You know, they can be okay 1 minute and the next, if you're not watching their signs and watching their body language. I have to follow them over here. They're looking for lizards. But if you don't watch their body language and their signs, they can flip and something can happen. So I closely monitor them both when I take them out, mainly her, him, because she hasn't been she's not good at being social. She hasn't been socialized at all, honestly. We did when she was a puppy, and we lost that socialization ability once she got sick and she had to be quarantined for a while. She got the parvo, and anyways, but this guy here, he's partially socialized. Him says, call that two dogs bark. Blackett, tough, yum, yep. Oh, okay, you got to help me pronounce your name, bro. Ruby Orange, does he try to bite people? So, Ruby, I will say he has bitten a family member one time, and that was a territory type situation. And unfortunately, I wish I was there when it happened, but I wasn't, because it was one of those situations where you have a family member who's not a very strong leader, not a very strong leader at all. Boy, you can get bit by ants. Come here, come over here, come here, come. He's tired. He doesn't want to get up. You're gonna get bit by those ants, buddy. Yeah. So the family member was. Well, I'll tell you the whole story. So my wife was telling her mother, who's not very, necessarily assertive person, and really has kind of avoided taking leadership when it comes to this dog. Because sometimes when these dogs can be overwhelming to people, not her fault. I'm just saying some people just don't do well in the presence of a big dog like this. And so So they avoid interaction with them, which I think that's the worst thing you can do, because if you have a opportunity to interact with a dog in a safe environment and they're with the owner and the dog is okay at the beginning, now is the time to set that boundary. Now is the time to put your say, look, I'm an alpha leader. Even though they never met you or they haven't spent a lot of time with you, at that moment, the dog is accepting you for whatever you present. And if you decide to not tell them that you're alpha, then they're like assume that you're below them on the totem pole. And that's what's happened. She's avoided interacting with him. And now he's looked at her as being lower on the totem pole where he's above her. Okay. So now, whenever he's sitting, he was laying on the couch. And so Tennille told him to get my wife. That's it, Tennille. I didn't mean to say her name. But my wife says, hey, told the Connie Corso to get off the couch. And then he was getting down, but then she was also simultaneously telling her mother to come sit down on the couch where he was. And he got offended and says, no, you are not allowed to sit on my couch. And so he turned around and bit her. Okay. So that was him saying, this is and of course, after that happened, he lost all couch privileges. He lost all couch privileges because he took ownership of that couch and then we had to let him know, look, nobody, that is not your couch. You don't get to say to anybody that they can't sit there. Okay. So mind you, he had been in our house for over a year, almost 2 years at that point. And we have not had any problems with that because we've all been alpha leaders to him, okay? But whenever you have somebody who's not interacting with that dog in a way that they don't see them as alpha, you've got to be very, very careful. Okay, so what are the comments? Let's see. Sorry, I've been talking a while, so I got to go all the way back here. So he's a giant. Said Ross says hi. What's going on? Do you know Billie Eilish? I do, Ruby. I know Billie Eilish. My daughter turned me on to her a while back. Michael Weber, well trained. He was testing you. Yes, exactly, Michael. So these dogs, especially him, he will always kind of revert back to test you to make sure. Are you sure you're alpha? Are you sure you're the leader? So you can't just do it once and then you're done for the rest of your life. You have to remind them, and that's one of the reasons why we do the whole treat training stuff. That's it's just a vehicle for us to continue to show, look, I'm the one that gives you instruction. You're the one that follow the instructions. Matt Register says, beautiful dogs. How much do they cast always want for them, showing love from Arizona? So Matt is from Arizona, and how much do they cost? I think you're asking how much do they cost. Yeah, so this is what I was saying earlier. You need to, if you want to get a dog like this, you're going to have to kind of put away a little bit of money. Okay, so, and look at the prices. Try to find a good breeder, someone who's interested in maintaining the breed standard, who's not just doing like a puppy mill or all that kind of stuff, that's actually trying to do the right thing. It's going to cost you a couple $1,000s. It's going to, this is how it is. If it's too cheap, be very, very, very wary. Yeah, trying to be stubborn. Yep, exactly. He's definitely trying to be stubborn. Rick says he the alpha. No, Rick, really the little dog is the alpha. If you hadn't seen them, seen her, sorry, little Missy, she's the alpha. Michael, who trains who, the dog or you? Now go get me my food. That's exactly right, Michael. You were probably making that comment while I was preaching about, about the dominance issues with these dogs. Is that American? No, Excalibur. This is Connie Corso. He daddy dog. No dogs on the bed. That's exactly right, Rick. That's the boundary that we set. No dogs on the bed. And right now, he's lost couch privileges. He's not allowed to be on the couch at all. He has a mat on the floor. We took away that power from him. M&N Services Tree Trimming says removal said hi. What's going on, M&N? Rick and Morty. No bite. Ruby Orange. So I'm looking for my first dog. I wanted boxer dog, Connie Corso. Which one should I have for the first time? So Ruby, if you're not used to, remind me, have you had smaller dogs before? Because if you haven't had a dog at all, I would be very, very cautious going from no dog ownership to a big dog like this. Take your time, get your skills up, get your leadership stuff up. Once you've figured that out, then kind of move up, because if you do it wrong and you mess up on a big dog like this, you could have a big problem on your hand, and that's not what you want. But if you already have that experience, you already learned how to be an alpha leader, you got the training aspect, you got the time, you got the money, you got the space, you know, definitely keep doing the research, doing what you're doing. Keep watching people that have dogs like this, like I do, or even some of the more professional people like Caesar Milan and K9 Cali, all those guys. And it helps you build you up because these dogs are only as good as you make them, and you're only as good as how much you educate yourself. Do you know what I mean? So if you're not educating yourself, there's a Rottweiler over there. Let's go see what she's doing. So they depend on you to get your knowledge up before you try to raise them. Get your knowledge up. Licious, what are you doing? What are you doing? Come here. Come here, sweetie. Come here. Come say hi. Come here, baby. Yeah, there's my sweetie. We were supposed to be doing some exercises today, some training exercises. So let me get back to the comments at the bottom. So because there's been like a ton of them. So Jalen has a Doberman. David, I just done a. Oh man, Super Slav. They're all talking weird stuff here. Excalibur, yes, it's Connie Corso. No, what is Slog doing? I'm not sure what that means. Yes, definitely, Michael. And a place to run. That's definitely what you want. You want to have them. If you live in an apartment, you can still do it with these big dogs, but you just got to make sure that there's a park close by or some place that they can get their exercise in, because these dogs, it is a mandatory thing that these dogs need exercise. It is mandatory. I'm telling you, if you do not exercise these dogs, you're going to live in a very bad place, okay? Because they're going to tear up everything in your house because they have all the energy. There's a little alpha right there, by the way. Yeah, no, so I definitely, if if you live in an apartment, I'm not gonna say you can't do it because I've seen people do that kind of stuff, but I mean, you're gonna spend a lot of time outside. Come in and to go relax. But I wouldn't recommend it. Another reason why I wouldn't recommend being in an apartment though is because they're very loud, and if you're Connie Corso, not all of them have the same behaviors, but most of them are very, very like observant, and they want to know who's moving and why they're moving and where they're going. Okay, and so if you live in an apartment complex, his bark is so loud it can probably shake and even in the middle of the night. Let me tell you, there's sometimes this guy acts like somebody's attacking him in the middle of the night. And he doesn't get up and he doesn't do anything, but his bark and growl and just it just sounds like he's getting ready to tear something up. And I can imagine if you have somebody living below you or above you, man, they'd be so annoyed with that. I would not. I mean, I would not. I'm not gonna say you can't do anything because people have done all kinds of crazy stuff and still get it by, but I would not recommend it. Yeah, and they can do that too. Make sure you have some very strong doors and windows. I've heard people's Cadi Corso, trying to go after something in the window, that they see in the window and break the window. Actually, my coworker, she her dogs did that, broke through the window. She had to she had to either repair it or pay to have it repaired or something like that. Either way, the point is that dog was like, I'm gonna get through to whatever they're, after. Somebody said free Diddy. The Pity and Kitty Committee. Good morning. So good to see you. It's been a while. Good morning. I always love that name, y'all. Their channel, their name for their is it? Do you have a channel? I can't remember. I can't remember if you have a channel or not. But it's I love that name. Absolutely. Michael, that's kind of the point of what we're saying, right? It's a lot of it's not a lot of it. It's all on the responsibility of the human. If you're not making yourself knowledgeable, and this dog reacts because of your ignorance, it's not their fault. They've been doing this for ages, for centuries. They've evolved to be how they are, but they are trainable. They are moldable. If you're not doing your part, it's on you, man. It's on you. Ah, that's what I thought. Okay, so yeah, the Pity and Kitty Committee. Yes, we have a channel. That's what's up. I love the Pity and Kitty Committee. You got to be careful when you say that. Every time, I'm very, very careful when I say your name because I feel like I'm going to say something else. But everybody, go check out the Pity and Kitty Committee channel, y'all. So go look at their station. And Porky, can't forget about Porky, right? Come on, Rain. Let's go see what Storm's doing. Come on. He's so tired, y'all. He's like, let me rest, Daddy. Let me rest. We ran about a mile. Steve Miller, what's going on, Steve Miller? No problem. Y'all been so amazing to the channel. I really appreciate y'all for coming in and hanging out with us. So, got to give the love back. Got to give the love back. How old is your daughter? She's a high schooler. But the thing about it is that um, she has been working with these dogs really since she was, I'd say since she's like 10 or 12 years old. And she's doing an amazing job, y'all. I mean, I don't think she wants to do anything with animals in her career field, but she has a really great instinct. Leadership is her thing, so she definitely wants to make sure these dogs are following the rules. And the way she does her alpha strategy, I guess, is she uses her water bottles. So when she gives the dog command, they don't follow it, or they're doing something that they're not supposed to. She uses her water bottle and squirts them and gets them in line. But she's very adamant about maintaining that alpha, and that's exactly what makes me feel good. So I don't have to be here and feel worried that my Cane Corso is going to attack my daughter. You know what I mean? I can leave the house whether I'm here or not. My family is safe because they maintain that leadership aspect. All of them, my wife and my daughter. It's just three of us that live here, but you know what I mean. Everybody has that same leadership authority of my dogs, so I'm never afraid to leave my home. Not much in Australia at the moment. Mate, pretty quiet. Okay, Steve Miller, that's what's up. From Australia. Ruby says, "Is your daughter a Billie Eilish fan?" You know, she's the one that turned me on to, like, I would have never known about Billie Eilish if she hasn't. But you know how kids are. Those girls, they go to school, they all share the same kind of social stuff and music stuff, and they get around. So, ding 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 ding. Bad guys in my mind right now. I use the side of my foot. Yeah. So there's ways that you can do it where you have to you gotta be careful because you know how people are. They get really sensitive of abuse and all that good stuff. But you're the it's what you want is something that communicates the message that you don't want that behavior, okay, without abusing the dog, without getting them like because an abused dog, you can tell, you know what I mean, you can tell when someone's abusing their dog. It doesn't make them confident. You want a confident dog. Sorry guys, she's peeing. I was looking at the phone and yeah, you want your dog confident, not abused. So and I have nudged them too. I use the whole poking them finger in the side. You know how Caesar Milan goes, shh, there's that little thing. Shh. That's really, really effective. With him though, I don't necessarily do that because I don't know. You got to do what your dog responds to, and if your dog doesn't really respond to it, you got to switch to something else. What he doesn't like is being splashed by water. That is the most powerful negative reinforcement. Is that what I'm trying to say? Negative reinforcement for him is being squirt with water. That's why my daughter uses that. It's a powerful tool for him. My Rottweiler is very, very. She's instinctively like, she's instinctively wants to please people, please me, not people, please me and my wife, my daughter. She doesn't like to be in trouble. She's still peeing. Why is she peeing so much? That's interesting. It's like the third time I've seen her pee. She's behind that log over there. Might have to check her out, make sure she doesn't have an infection, because she's doing a lot of urination. That's really interesting. I just now picked up on that. Michael Weber says lead shot help. It's the lead shot helps. What do you mean? So yeah, that's the good question, Michael. Is she diabetic or not? She's not that we know of, but that is definitely a sign of diabetes. If they're frequent urination, frequent drinking water, because they dehydrate and all that good stuff. But not that I'm aware of. So I'm more concerned, does she have a UTI or something like that? But that's definitely a consideration, right? When you see frequent urination like that, is diabetes. The Pity and Kitty Committee, not in my experience at Gleam. Mine is 8 and still the same sweet baby she's always been. Iris says, love dogs. Love dogs, I think's what you mean. Let me go back and see what y'all were talking about. How does he do with with being picked up. So Guy, the Cane Corso, he's kind of okay with it. I'll occasionally pick him up, only just with him though. I for me, and I know my daughter, my wife don't do this, but I like to play tug of war with him because I sometimes I just want him to feel that he's dealing with a kind of a big guy, and I'm not big, I'm not fat, I'm not. Am I fat? Am I that fat? No, I'm not that big, but I do have I've got a little strength, and I can pull him. So it does. It's like a little subtle um, flex alpha thing. You know what I mean? And so, and I think he enjoys the play, but I think he does learn something from it. He learns, hey, you know what? This guy's got some. He's got some strength to him. You know what I mean? He's got a little strength. And so I do that with him just for that reason. And it's not required, but I do enjoy just kind of letting him know, hey, that is an alpha. Yeah, I mean, I can do it. I can do it. I can pull him. But maybe he's giving me a break. I don't know. Who knows? Um Steve Miller says, it's the land down under. It's what everyone calls it, bro. Love the dogs. They're great. Thank you, Steve, from the land down under. I wish I could do a accent. Because sometimes between like the British accent and the Australian accent, I just can't get it. I can't get it right. I try, but it's just I just can't do it. SSV says, "Hi, Bulldog. Please, Guz. I don't know what that means, but this is actually Cane Corso. Does he like pickles? I've never given him pickles before, Jimmy. I don't know if that's a good thing for dogs. I mean, I guess they could eat cucumbers, so you gotta be careful. You don't want to do too much with their diets and change them up because they can get sick on you. So I haven't tried it, and I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I should or not because I just don't want them to get them sick with something they never had in their diets. Hey, what's going on, Leo? 81, goat bass player. What is your breed? Cane Corso and Rottweiler. Oh, she's going into the house, guys. I think she's going in the house. She went into the house. You may not have saw that, but she's going in. She probably wants some water. I wish I could be friends with your daughter. We probably am the same age. Oh, maybe Ruby. You got. Let me see. She's no. So no. She's not 14. She's got her permit and everything. She's getting ready to drive. Yeah. Is that true? The pit bulls lose their mind after 4 years. Oh, that's what you meant about pit bulls losing their mind. They forget their owner. So I guess the Pity and Kitty Committee. Their experience, I guess, is not the case. I don't. I've kind of heard a few things about that, and I always wonder how much do they interact with their dog because, like I said earlier, these dogs require daily interaction, and the more you are with them, the more you train them, the more they respect you, the more you build that relationship. So I could see somebody not doing that, and then their dog decides to one day says, you know what, I don't think you're the leader. I'm the leader here. I'm going to tell you what to do, and I'm going to make you. Because once they exert their authority over you and they bite you or whatever, and now you're scared of them, they've assumed that spot. They've assumed the leadership spot at that point. So, but I try not to ever get into a spot where my dog ever feels the need to say, all right, let me just challenge you physically with a bite, whatever. We're always constantly working on, look, you don't like, that's what the point of having boundaries are. Because as you enforce those boundaries, you're still giving them that message, I'm the alpha, I'm the alpha, I'm the alpha, daily, every single day. There's not a day where this guy doesn't get the message from me that you're not in control. And I'm not saying you have to be mean. Kashawn, what's going on? Long time no see. Hey everybody, look, it's Kashawn. Kashawn has the Rottweilers from New York. What's going on, man? I have to stop the show real quick because to say hello. Good to see you. Wow. Yeah, how is things going? Is everything going well with the Rottweiler? Ava says, "Cute dog, thank you." Michael Weber, am the alpha, and he's dragging you down the street. Yeah, exactly. That is another huge point Michael is making. So if you watch, here's the thing: watch people walk their dog, and if their dog is like 10 feet ahead of them, and they're just dragging you down the road. They're giving you a visual input of who's kind of the alpha in the household, or more so along the lines where this dog has the, at least during the walking, they feel that they're in control and not the human. So walking can be a very, very good way to start getting and developing that leadership where you're saying, look, I'm setting the boundary that you're not allowed to walk me. I'm walking you. And what that means is that you're going to be walking alongside of me, right along in that heel position, right next to me, not in front of me, but right here. And then you have to make those corrections. I use the leash to do those corrections to make sure that they are getting that message that I'm walking them. Okay. And it may take a while, because what they'll do is they'll start pulling ahead. You have to give them that feedback. Another strategy, my wife uses this strategy, is that what she'll do is she'll change direction. She'll turn around, and then now they have to catch up with you again. And if they try to get ahead of you, she turns around again. And she uses that technique. I don't know where they're going. Let's go follow him around. So walking can be a very, very nice tool to help you with setting those boundaries and taking that leadership spot and taking the alpha position. The PD and Kitty Committee, yes, definitely speaking facts. That's what's up. Very wise and very well spoken. Appreciate you so much. Kashan says, I've been laying low, brother. I saw you live and I'm checking in. Yes, thank you for doing that. Yeah, everything is going great. We are alive and well. Awesome. Heading into a new school year tomorrow. Man, I'm looking forward to this being a good year for you guys and for my kid. I know things are getting tough. Funding's kind of weird nowadays, and I know a lot of these things are being pulled back, and I'm really worried, I mean, I don't know how you feel about it, but, especially, federal fundings and stuff like that is kind of changing, so I'm just worried. I'm kind of worried for the future, but, thankful for you guys for sticking with it, helping these kids out. So big shout out to you, man. I appreciate you. I'm trying to show you Missy, but Missy's not doing anything over there. My dog acting up twice, and we were hunting both times we acted up. I had put a bullet in the ground 2 times and only never acted up again. So Gabriel's like, look, I just use a loud noise. I shoot the ground. Sometimes you got to do things to get their attention. I mean, I don't know if I'll shoot anything, but it sounds like you know what you're doing. So I'm not going to criticize you on that. But your dog got the message, right? Your dog was like, look, I can't be doing all this stuff out here because I don't want to be hearing those loud noises. Some people clap their hands or, snap their fingers or whatever. Sometimes you have to do that to get their attention. Goated baseball player says, I have a Australian Shepherd. That's what's up. Jimmy Jazz says, Wendy's versus Popeye. Jimmy, I'm going to tell you this. Whole Foods. None of the above. Whole Foods, man. But that's my goal in life. When I retire, and I've already started, guys. You can see a bunch of stuff over here, like watermelon. Like I've got about 7 or 8 trees that I've planted there. That is my mission in life, is to eventually, and I got more back here too, if you're wondering about that. I want to be whole food, plant-based for the most part if I can. I'm not, maybe some fish on the side, salmon or whatever. Same thing for your dogs. You know what I'm saying? If you can feed your dogs whole food, man, more power to you. I think that's better for you, because a lot of the preservatives and stuff that we have in our food just makes me wonder. Ooh, it makes me wonder, what are we doing to ourselves and our pets? Yeah, so yeah, you're ready for the future as well. With rupture comes repair. Yep, praying for repair in our country ASAP. I'm 100% with you on that. And I don't, and I don't, again, I'm not trying to make this political, and I don't really care necessarily which party or whoever's in charge. I just ask that they please pay attention to the people and not just ideology. I don't care what you think or believe, what is actually happening to your people. Be concerned about the downstream effect of the people that you are serving. I don't care who it is. Well, it doesn't matter what color, what gender, what race, or whatever. I'm not interested in that. I'm more interested in how are you living. If your conditions or your education is being lowered, kids aren't learning what they're supposed to. People aren't living them. Again, I'm not trying to get political, and I don't care. I'm not advocating for any side. That's not what I'm about. You know, it's the same thing with your dogs at your household. You know, pay attention to your dogs. Are they living good? You know, are they growing? Are they pooping right? Are they peeing when they're supposed to? Like we were just talking a minute earlier. The Rottweiler peed 3 times. And I'm like, wait a second, why is she peeing so much? You know, you got to make sure everybody's living right. You know what I mean? 100%, absolutely. How often do you give him or her belly rubs? So goaded, I try to give like him right now. This is a perfect time to give him belly rubs. He's not, chasing anybody. He's not barking at anything. He's being very, not necessarily submissive, but just very, very calm. Now is a good time to do some belly rubs, right? So if you want to give him love while he's in this state, because the only thing you're saying is, dude, when you're like this, when you're calm and cool, I want that. You're giving him that positive reinforcement that I want this behavior, as opposed to him jumping on me and making me pet him and licking me and knocking me over or whatever. You don't want to like reward that unless you want your dog to behave like that. But if your dog is chill like this, not even doing anything, now's a good time to give him some love. It's okay to do that. And yellow eyes. Yeah, actually, yeah. Is their tail up or is it down? Or are they being submissive? You know, that's definitely definitely what you're looking for. You know, if he rolls over, that's even more. That's more of a submissive thing. That's when you really want to encourage that. Like if he rolls over on his back, being very submissive, that reinforces your position as the alpha. Look at that little Missy. You gonna say hello? What up, girl? What up, girl? What up, little girl? You enjoying this cool grass? Yeah, he chills like yours. Yeah, I got a great Pyrenees, and he's beyond chill. Maybe the too big to be running all day. That's cool. My neighbor has a great Pyrenees. You know, so yeah, if they're chilling, man, you can give them all the love they want. The Hoas love to hate these dogs. Let me tell you why. Because people aren't doing a great job of making sure their dogs stay in their spaces. You know, I've got gates and fence put up all around my property. I don't let my dogs out in the front yard without any leashes on. They're either behind the gate or they have leashes and collars on them. Not usually, I usually don't have collars on them while we're in the backyard because it's a safety thing for us. But in the front yard, you're never gonna catch me without a leash on my dogs or behind the fence. That's it. Happy dog, happy life. Exactly. My wife has a great pair of knees. Oh, gee, that's funny. Uh, so Michael was talking about, oh, Grandpa's here. I didn't see you. Come in, man. Good to see you. What's up, Grandpa? I'll point at them and visually direct them to what I want. Yeah, so I do that too, actually, Michael. And I'll like point, sit down over there or whatever. And they learn how to follow that. Actually, over time, they'll initially you might have to kind of like show them, but over time they get to learn. They understand what pointing means. By the way. Oh, I missed your other comment too, Michael. You said it's good advice. So that lady's dog got loose and started running off, started to chase him. I told her to turn around, and the dog came back. Yep, 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 yep. Marianne DeFeo, what's going on? OG made him laugh. Job complete. Yes, it is. Your job is complete. I give you a thumbs up. Kishan, do you feel? How do you feel about e-collars for being off leash? Um, how do I feel about e-collars, Kishan? I don't really know. I think that'll be okay. For me, I would do the e-collars in the backyard and make sure that my dog responds. And because here's my thought though. You know, different your dog responds to different levels of stimulus. You know what I mean? Like okay, like say for instance they see somebody walking by on the street. Like let's say somebody's walking. That's a level of stimulus for my dog. Is that more or less stimulating than a dog, a free dog that's with, somebody let the dog loose and is walking? Which one's more stimulating to them? And let's say that I don't know which one is more stimulating and I put an e-collar on them, it may work with the human walking by and I say, hey, come back before I use this e-collar. But if the dog does it and that's more stimulating to them and they blow past the collar and they don't care, then I'm like trying to jank up the electricity and try my, I'm just trying to create. I don't know if that's a good thing or if it's a bad thing. I just see that kind of as like, depends on the dog. If your dog responds to it and no matter what stimulus comes by, great. I guess that works. But my fear is that is something going to be more stimulating than the e-collar? And now I've got my Cane Corso biting a neighbor, and now the neighbor's suing me for everything I own and taking my house. You know what I mean? I just don't want to chance it. So for me, y'all have seen my leashes, right? This thing is all I have a lot of trust in this thing here. I trust a lot in this thing. It's a what is it a choke collar or whatever it's called. I'm not sure what it's called, but anyways, but it gets tight on there as they pull. It gets tighter, up to a point, right? This is where it doesn't go any tighter than that. But this is what I have my trust in over an e-collar or anything else. But like I said, if you're familiar with them and your dog responds well to them, maybe so. Michael says no e-collars and dog streams too. OG, my e-collar always asks me about my extended warranty, car warranty. And Falcon says, Divine Bless, what's going on? Good morning, Falcon. Can you see an eBay? Slip leash, thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, I put my trust in the slip leash over anything else. I think e-collars are mainly for like training, right? And that's one thing we haven't done a lot of, because here's the deal: when it comes to distance, sometimes you can have longer leads. If you're trying to work on recall, for instance, and your dog is 20 meters away, and they're like, you know what, you're so far away, I'm not coming back to you. I'm not going to listen to what you got to say. I'm going to go do what I want to do. And you're like, nope, I've got this e-collar and I can use this to I can still get you even though you're 20 feet away or whatever. And, but then, as they go, you should take away the collar and they should still follow those instructions. The e-collar is just being used to train them. But in terms of like everyday use in the front yard, I don't know that I would do that. I feel more comfortable having a leash on them, and then the rest of the time, like that's one reason why we have this properties is so that they can have free reign. They have access to over half an acre. You know what I mean? They don't have to be out in the front yard running around. Like and that's why I criticize. Sometimes I'm not in favor of my neighbors doing that. I'm like, you guys, we all have acre properties here. Every house in this neighborhood have at least an acre. Why do you have to be off leash in the front yard? And then of course me and my dogs are on leash running on the streets or whatever, and your dog comes out there chasing us, and I'm like, come on, man, you have a full acre like I do. Take your dog behind the fence. But for some reason, they like to be in the front yard playing with their dog because they don't think anyone else is in the community that will be walking down the street, and they have all the confidence in the world that their dog's going to behave. There was no training my Basenji. So, I had a Basenji a long time ago. They don't really do too much barking. They just kind of like make these weird noises. But they very cool dogs though. And they are very like, the one that I had was very headstrong. Like they did not want to be in the kennels. They just didn't like they had to do their thing the way they wanted to do them. Tanya Marie says, beautiful. Thank you so much, Tanya. Chihuahua? No, she's not a Chihuahua. She's a little mixed dog. We think she's a pug beagle mix. A peagle is what they call them. I think that's what we've kind of settled in. But she's our old alpha. And been around for a good while now, 13, 14 years now, I guess. So she's an old dog. You gotta see it in her face. Let's show off your gray, girl. Show us your gray. Got a gray face, but just been a wonderful dog. Very, very well for our family. So let's see if we can stimulate these dogs with a few treats here. We're gonna do a little bit. I think little Missy, she probably work for some treats. You want to work for some treats? You want to do some work? Let's do some work, girl. Come on. Let's work. Come on. Uh-oh, the Connie Corso says, oh, we about to work, y'all. Who's going to sit for me? I got some treats out here, guys. See if I can open this up with one hand. Look at the Connie Corso. He's like, give me some. Boy, you're going to have to work for this, boy. This don't come free. Nothing's free. We'll get one for Missy, too. Nothing's free in this household. You got to work, buddy. Okay, who's going to sit? Let's get in the shade first. Come on. Missy. Come here. Missy. Come here. Sit. Good girl. There you go. That's for you, girl. Rain, I don't even give you the command. No. You don't get to see. This is like him manipulating me. He's like, I'm gonna do it, so then you have to give me something else. I'm gonna have you lay down. Can you lay? Lay. Good boy. That's kind of a new skill for him. He normally doesn't do lay. Look, she's still sitting good. I think they're doing well. Let's try another one. We're gonna do some more stuff. Look at him, still over there too. Look at that. All right, give a few more treats. Okay, Missy, and this trick I want you to do over here on the concrete. Down. Turn. Turn. Good girl. That's a half turn. She's like, I'm an old dog. I can only do so much. Let's try to lay again for Rain. Rain, you gonna lay down for me? Lay. Lay. Good boy. That's a good boy. That's a good boy. Good boy. Can you do up? Can you do up? She doesn't know that trick, so we hadn't worked on that. How about roll? Okay, that's a good girl. Here's a big one. Can you handle that big one? You can handle that big one? Sorry, guys. That's a little. We took some time away from the comments to work on a few things. But yeah, so every now and then you got to keep up these skills, and they learn a lot from you giving them directions and following your lead. They learn a lot. So let me get back to the comments. Sweet dog, bro. Appreciate you, Joel. Becky says, hi. What's going on, Becky? Big dogs don't listen for crap. John Smith. That's why you got to keep working with them, man. They will listen. You just got to keep working. You got to keep working. Such well-behaved pups. They can be, Tanya, but you got to work with them. That's the point. The point is, if you actually work with these dogs, they will work. They will do well for you. I wish we could see Kashawn's dog, man. Kashawn has that Rottweiler just well trained, y'all. Man, we did a live with Kashawn a couple months ago, I guess, and we watched. I forgot what's your dog's name. Or Kashawn, are you still here, man? What's your Rottweiler's name? Just an absolute beautiful dog, man. Very well trained. I don't know if he's still here or not, but where's your elephants? Terrible times. Falcon, imagine training a wolf back in the day. Man, I don't know how that happened. Calvin, that big dog would eat that little one. It's called sleeping. Why does the dog on the ground over there look dead? Peagle sounds like Schmeagle from Younger Sister. My precious. So Lucky 13. Yes, Tanya. Pug by the face and the teeth. Yeah, that's why we think maybe a puggle, or did I say peagle or puggle? One of the two. We're not sure which one it is. Kashawn says, I'm saving for a house now. Oh, yes. Kashawn, you still here, bro? I'm jumping in 2 seconds. Okay. Draco, okay. Let me read your comment, Kashawn, because I didn't realize you were buying a house. A farm, too. I can't wait to be able to just open my door and let the dogs out, especially in the wintertime. Apartment living. Yeah, see, Kashawn, that's what I was talking about earlier. Somebody was challenging me about not being able to have a dog in an apartment. And I've seen people do it, and, you've done an incredible job, I think, like training your dog, take them to the parks or whatever, you let them, you walk them. Like, it's very possible to do it. It's just, you got to know what you're doing. Dragon Trex, nice dog. Tanya, I have one. You have one, what? Connie Corso? Cash Poppin' Wolf. What's the dog's name that's laying on the floor? So, Anuka, is that you say your name? Or Onika? Onika. I'm trying to say hi, pronounce your name. This is Rain, and that's Missy. And Storm's in the house. She went into the house, the Rottweiler. I'm from Texas, Central Texas. Yeah, are you trying to place my accent? Like, where's this guy's accent from? I'm a good old Texan. I'm gonna talk like it. I'm a good old Texan. You know what I mean? I grew up in the South. I'm a good old Southern boy. uh, I don't think I really have too much of an accent, but oh, you're in Poland. Okay, cool. Nice to meet you. All the way from Poland. We've had South India, North India here today. We got Poland coming in. Very cool. Yes, the Viper. That is true. Do you have a StreamYard link to join live? So today, you know what, Kashawn, oh, here comes the Rottweiler. She's like, I want to get in on some of these treats. So I've kind of pulled away from doing the streaming apps. I went back to the regular YouTube app. I don't know. It costs me money, and right now it's like if I don't babysit my YouTube channel, I don't get paid. And so if I'm having to pay for a subscription service every month and I'm not getting paid, it just doesn't seem very like advantageous. And a lot of it's just I don't have a lot of time now. My job is kind of getting a little more busy here and there, and so I try not to overcommit if I don't have to. So I've limited myself to mainly doing Sundays just to keep people that have been watching me, just so that they see how my dogs are progressing as the Storm, sorry. And so I just kind of went back to that. But I think there is a way on the YouTube app to have a guest on, and I even put a Wi-Fi router outside so I can come out here and stream with because it takes a lot of bandwidth to have somebody else on there. So, Gabrielle. Oh wow, she's beautiful. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yeah, for sure, Kashaw. Yeah, but the Rottweiler, we've been having her on restriction right now because she tore her ACL, I want to say a couple weeks ago. And so we were in between surgery and kind of doing rest. So far, the rest has, like, she's improved to the point where she can walk around, but you can see that limp from her walking. And I restrict her and Storm can't do all the horseplay and stuff they used to do all the time. So I kind of calmed that down. Antonio says, wow, America House looks lit. Oh, I appreciate it. You talking about my house? Yeah, I appreciate it. We, you know how these Americans are with their, everything got to be big, especially in Texas, right? Everything big in Texas. Yeah, Tanya, we had to deal with that, and like she's like you can see her walking, you can barely tell, but it's better now. So we're kind of in between. Like maybe we just see how she kind of hopped there. You probably can't because the lighting is very bad right now. But yeah, the rest seems to be helping. So I'm a little bit concerned about surgery because we do the surgery, there's going to be this long recovery, but I'm going to do whatever she needs. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I don't want to. We have insurance too, so don't worry about how we can pay for it. It's not the issue. The issue is what's better and what's likely to be good for the whole family, because having a recovery time where she can't move and she's gonna want to play, she's gonna want to come out and use the bathroom, and it's gonna take a lot of work on us. First of all, they do probably one at a time, one come, because if they both come out here, the first thing they're gonna do is gonna run out and try to play. So I don't know. We're still thinking about that. UK, everything with tons off sugar, A down hill. I'm trying to figure out what you're saying, Antonio. You're saying the UK every tiny with tons of sugar. I'm missing what you're saying. This looks like it's something. Oh man, it's Shih Tzus in the house. What's going on? Like, it's so good to see some of these old people that's been on our channel for a while. So it's good to see everybody. Tanya, Kashani, so true. Okay, I gotta go back to what he was saying. Negrified hero. Negrified hero. Most of the U.S. is safe. The issue is usually around dense urban. That's correct. That's correct. I'm just call you hero because it's kind of a weird thing to say. And that's why we're out where we are here too. We're out in the country where, I mean, look at this. I mean, you've got fields behind the house. There's houses back there. You just really can't see it. Less people, little less crime. It's just really nice out here. Oh no, my mic is glitching. Oh man, I hate that. Can you hear me now though? We good now or no? Yes. Okay. All right. I appreciate that. No, because you always feel safe when you are own large breed dogs. Yeah, I agree with that, man. And it's funny because we were talking about this. My wife and I were talking about this the other day. I was saying, well, would it be because big dogs they come with special needs, right? Because you have to have someone here to watch them if you're going to go out of town, if you're going to go on vacation, and if you don't have anybody that can watch your dogs, you can take them to the kennels, but they have a lot of restrictions, and a lot of times they just don't do well when you go on vacation. So they come with a large commitment. So I was like, hey, babe, why don't we just like maybe consider once we've gone through this cycle to not have big dogs? But then she was like, look, we are so much safer. Like, we don't even need to have a alarm system because these dogs are always on guard around the clock. Yeah, definitely. Shih Tzu, yes. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Shih Tzu. 5x5, it keeps glitching. Oh man, I hate that. I hate that it's glitching. I don't know what it's doing. Yeah, exactly. Best alarm ever. So yeah, I'm sorry about this glitching with the microphone. If that may be my cue to kind of shut it down, and we'll do it again next week. But I am just first of all, I'm just so happy to see so many new and old faces today. People from all around the world. It's always a pleasure to hang out with you guys. I know you can't see everybody now. It's all good. I appreciate it. This has been a wonderful. I love. That's why I love doing these lives this morning. I love sharing the experience with my dogs. I like talking to friends, and it's always encouraging. It's encouraging. I do my best to try to encourage you guys. If you do have big dogs, keep working with them, keep loving on them, keep training, and give them what they need, y'all. Their lives are short, man. Very very short lives. So make it a good one. Make it a good one for them. Yeah, so come back next Sunday. I usually come in about 8:30, sometime 9, if we're exercising or something like that. Sunday mornings, that's kind of my go-to time. I'll get back to making some shorts eventually, just to kind of keep people interested. But I enjoy the interaction on Sundays. So Sunday morning at 8:30, around about 8:30, 9 o'clock is when I come on live, and come back and hang out with us again, man. Come see Storm, the Rottweiler, see the Connie Corso. And thank y'all for the love and the likes and the good conversation. If y'all wouldn't mind, give me a little bit of thumbs up. I appreciate it. It helps me out a lot. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Rain says thank you, and Storm and Missy. I don't know where Missy went to, y'all. She's hiding in the grass. But thank y'all. We're gonna head on out. We'll see y'all next Sunday. And if you have any other questions, check out some of our shorts too. If you are bored and you want to see some little bit of creative stuff, um, you're more than welcome to check out my shorts. All right. Bark, bark. Thank you. I appreciate it. This is the dog looks cool. Thank you all so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the love. Thank you, Maneo. Mano. Mayno. I'm trying to say your name. Sorry. Mano. I think it says Mano. Thank you so much for saying that. I appreciate y'all. Okay. We're heading out, y'all. Have a wonderful day. Peace out.